Hello, hello, and welcome. It's B-Dubs, DM21. It's good to see all of you all here, and thank you guys so much for your excitement for this campaign. This is a whimsical tale of quality assurance. Now, we are still waiting on one of our players to arrive, but he will be here shortly. And let me go ahead and see if I can get all of our adventurers today to say hello.
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 Hi, everybody.
Hello. Hi.
There's the bloodry. Beautiful, beautiful. So as you can see, all of our players are represented by their in-simulation avatars. And speaking of the one we were waiting for, he has just arrived. Good to see you there, Mr. Nivosi. I hope all is well.
Yep. Got caught in traffic on the way back.
I can't have that. But that's all good. It's good to have everybody here. Our adventurers are here and set. So with that being said, guys, without further ado, I think we begin this campaign, shall we?
Sounds like fun.
All right, we'll get right on into it. No need to delay any further. Our tale begins in the year 2034. Our adventurers today all applied for an opportunity to partake in a 5-day long test of a brand new virtual reality system known only as Harness Reality. This has not been seen in any trade shows, nor do any of our applicants have any real true background knowledge to what it is. It's been a highly guarded secret. But that being said, today all questions will be answered. They'll finally not only get a chance to see it, but they'll also get a chance to play around with it, get inside it, enjoy it. One of the first people to ever test it. It's about mid to late May. Nice mid-spring sort of vibe in New York City. And there, along the main strip, right next to quite a few shopping centers and big buildings people go to. There's lots of people clamoring around throughout the day here in New York City, particularly Fifth Avenue. But our adventurers are going to go up to a mostly unmarked building. It's the correct address. And they open the door. And our very first adventurer, who will grace our story today, I have to roll a dice for this, is none other than Selma Webb, played by Atomic Atrox. Atomic, can you give everybody who's watching and listening an opportunity to know a little something about your character?
Sure. I'll be playing Selma Webb, who is a about 25-year-old woman, kind of mousy looking, with mid-length black hair and blue eyes, and she's probably wearing something like a long flowy skirt and a long sleeve shirt that kind of covers past into her hand so she can hold on to her sleeves. And she kind of looks like a book nerd. Just quiet book nerd.
All right. Well, this quiet book nerd approaches the building, and the doors are made of glass. And you open up the door, and there to greet you is a sort of a disheveled-looking guy in a bit of a lab coat. He's kind of got salt-peppery hair, and his goatee, though trimmed, is still somehow, it just looks messy. He definitely looks like a guy who's stayed up all night getting ready for your arrival, but he's excited to see you. And he opens the door for you upon seeing you approach and says, Selma, right? You're Selma.
Yes. Are you Jordy?
Yes. Jordy, Jordy Beasley, in the flesh, of course. I'm in the flesh. Well, we're not going to be later today, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, oh my goodness, are you excited?
Yes.
All right, well, fantastic. Well, let me go ahead and introduce you to our receptionist. That's Charles Daly, they, them. and they're going to go ahead and help you get sorted and settled, and they're going to escort you to the testing lab. Oh my goodness, we have so much testing to do and so little time to do it.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity.
No problem at all. So he walks you over to Charles, and Charles, they're sitting there, and they're just sort of clickety-clacking away on the keyboard monitor, but does take the time to look up at you and goes, oh, kind of regards you lightly, not really sure who you are, and then looks over to Jordy. Is this one of yours? Jordy goes, oh, yes. You see those clipboards? He starts pointing to these clipboards that are all neatly arranged on the desk there. And he goes, and Charles goes, oh, I didn't see those. Kind of looks over at him, and they look back up to Jordy, and he flicks back a bit of blonde hair, and they look back and forth. And which one? Jordy goes, Selma Webb. Picks up the clipboard. Charles looks it over and says, okay. Everything's in order. And sort of meekly hands it over to Jordy, and they look a little unsure as to what's going on. But, it's reception. Different things happen every day. You might want to make an inside check maybe on Charles. For those who are watching, our player characters are all assumed to be base stat 10 with a +1 to their proficiency bonus. So any of their rolls made is only going to have a +1 to it. And with this particular insight, Selma surmises that Charles is a receptionist. Charles, being a bit younger, maybe just might be aloof in general. All right, so Jordy takes the clipboard, looks it over. He's very pleased with it, nods briskly, and says, all right, follow me.
Oh, okay.
And he leads you back, and we're just going to assume he leads you back. Everything's fine. Everything's good to go. And you are eventually escorted to the test room, and we'll describe that room once everybody gets there. All right, on to our second character. I'm also rolling for this. I'm going to roll for all of them. The order is random here. All right, that's going to be James Webb. Odd. Will be coming up to the shop next. James, you're walking up to the store, and exactly as I described for Miss Selma Webb, you find Jordy standing there ready to receive you, and he opens the door. Oh my goodness. And need I forget, actually, Carl, you're with him. And he's going to talk to Carl. I forgot that you two are kind of a pair. Yes. Carl. And he points over at James, and you must be his assistant, James, right?
Yes, that's correct. My name is James. I am, as you said, I'm Mr.
Be quiet, James.
Oh, sorry, sir.
Yes, James is my assistant.
Oh, very good.
I will from time to time call him Jimmy.
Jordy laughs. Jimmy, James, everybody's. I'm just so happy to see you. You have no idea how long we've waited to. And he kind of looks around real quick and goes, "Let's come inside. Let's come inside." Yes. So he escorts the two of you back inside, and he goes, "You have no idea how long I've waited to get some fresh eyes in this piece of equipment. I'm so excited to have you here."
We're excited to take some time away from studying our chess games for our upcoming match.
That's right. Yes.
This will be a nice change of pace for me.
That's right. You're the chess master. You have, and don't you have that big championship coming up next week against Bobby Luigi?
Yeah, I'm not concerned about that. That I'll beat him like I've beat him my entire life.
Oh, okay. All right. So confident you'll beat him again. All right. Well, that's really good. Interesting. Well, in any case, I'm Jordy. I'm Jordy, and I'll be in charge of you guys today. Okay. And he points over to the reception. He says, "That's Charles over there, reception, they, them, and they'll be taking care of you, getting paperwork together. Here, I'll bring you on over." And he escorts the two of you over.
No,
You?
I go sit in a chair. I'm gonna tell Jimmy to go get my paperwork for me and start filling it out for me.
Of course, sir. I'll get right on that.
Oh, okay. So Jimmy, come over here. Come over here, Jimmy.
No problem, sir. I'll
right.
follow him.
And he looks over at Charles. Charles, I got two this time.
Charles, I need the paperwork for Mr. Manganese. If you have it.
Manganese? Magnesium?
We'll go with manganese. That works.
Manganese? Okay. Manganese, okay. Charles turns over. They start looking through some of the clipboards, and you notice as this very young, more or less dapper individual, dressed neatly, polo shirt, khakis kind of thing for the office, but you can kind of tell that they probably have a bit of a rougher exterior during the nightlife. A few piercings that don't have anything in them, so definitely cleaned up for work, and they turn and rifle through some of the clipboards and finds the two, and looks over it, and Charles, once again, puzzledly looks over at Jordy, and for those two? Jordy goes, yes, of course. We're so happy to have them today. Jordy sort of shrugs. I mean, not Jordy. Charles sort of shrugs and says, okay, and reluctantly hands over the clipboards. If you'd like to make an insight check, you can, Jimmy.
17.
Yep, that'll be a 17. All right, well, with your roll of 17, you surmise that you are in what is normally a very secure space. Very few new faces enter these halls. And Charles, being a receptionist, they aren't used to seeing new folk. Really having any clerical or administrative work for bringing in new folk other than, long-term hires, which doesn't seem to happen too often. Comes as a bit of a surprise, but otherwise, nothing really seems out of place. It's just Charles seems concerned about, we're letting all these people in. Are you sure? It's sort of the feeling you're getting. All right. And so Jordy takes the clipboards and says, all right, well, if you'd follow me, I'll take you to the room where you could finally see harness reality. Are you excited? And that's, he's talking to both Carl and Jimmy.
Yes, I'm curious of the work you have done with AI. I'm curious if I could use your AI program for studying chess moves.
Jordy sort of smiles coyly and just says, our AI is incredible, but that's not what we're testing today.
Look, it'll be quite interesting to see. At least I'll be taking any notes that Mr. Magnussen, has for you.
All right. So Jordy escorts you to the room, and you are now in the testing room. You notice Selma Webb sitting there, but we'll get there in a little bit. Our next character introduction.
PW?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you going to let them describe themselves?
Oh, I should do that, huh? We'll do that when we get everybody to the room. Actually, let me go ahead and do that now. It was an oversight on my part. Carl and James. We'll start with Carl. Can you please give some background on your characters? My apologies on that. I got excited.
Carl Magnussen is a world chess champion in our current timeline. Coming up right after this test, he actually has the world championship match the next day, or at least the start of it. He will be coming across his longtime rival. They have more of a friendship rivalry kind of thing going with them, considering they've been playing against each other for probably 20 plus years. Carl just turned 30 not 3 days ago, and he's just dressed nicely, wearing a nice pair of slacks, a nice collared shirt with a nice sport coat, with basically just a couple of his sponsors he has so he can actually afford to do chess full time.
All right, and if James Webb can introduce himself.
James Webb is a 5'2" thin man.
That's 'cause
brown
I don't
hair.
feed him much.
Yeah. He's dressed in like a business casual gray sweater over a pressed shirt, tan pants or tan slacks, and black loafers. His hair's nicely combed back, and he wears a pair of spectacles. He usually stands to Carl's right, about 2 paces behind, and he's always carrying a day planner. He's about 23 years of age.
All right, and now our next character introduction will be from the Ginger Duck, who is playing the character Evan. Evan, would you please describe yourself as you are walking up to this sleek building?
Hey, so you're looking at a 28-year-old man, average build, blue jeans, got a clean white baseball tee with black sleeves, a big old number 13 on the back, bright medium-cut red hair, a little curled on the end, freckles, very, very smiley character. In terms of, I don't know if you want to get to backstory, a little backstory.
You can, yeah.
Right
We
now.
got Chessmaster out there, so go for it. Mm-hmm.
All right. So in terms of current life, used to be your average middle-class paper pusher. About a year back, I got into some trouble. Boring desk job. Got to make things fun, pull some pranks on some people. Needless to say, early adult life introspection has turned me to a life of music and voice acting. So I'm hoping that I can push my way into the gaming scene sometime soon here.
All right. Well, as you walk through the glass doors, you actually notice that Jordy is again sort of middle-aged to older, grizzled, salt and pepper hair. Looks like he needs a good 12 hours of sleep already, but he's super energetically opens the door for you and says, hello, come on in. And he can't quite place a name with you, but he's thinking real hard.
You must be Jordy. I think I'm looking for Jordy.
Yes, I'm Jordy. And you are... And he's searching really hard for the name, but he can't find it.
I go by Evan.
Oh, Evan, right, Evan, of course, yes, we're so happy to have you. We already got a few people waiting, so we do need to try to see about getting everybody hurried along. We got a safety brief. He's looking at his watch now. We got a safety brief here soon. Hopefully everybody else arrives quickly, and he brings you over to Charles, and so he does introduce Charles the way I've done in the past, and Charles again reaches for the clipboard and again kind of cautiously hands it over to Jordy, and Jordy turns around and Jordy asks again, Evan, I just kind of pauses for a minute. Goodness, I don't know why, but your name is escaping me. I got your paperwork here. I recognize it. What do you do again for a living?
I'm musician, voice actor, doing a lot of stuff right now. I'm finding, myself at this point.
Oh, okay. Yeah, right. I remember now. Okay, great. One of Josephine's. All right. We're right this way. And he escorts you to the testing room.
All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right. The next one is going to be Miss Josie, who is played by Tanantha. Tanantha, if you would be so kind as to introduce yourself. And your character.
Yeah. Hi guys, I'm Tanantha. My character is Josie Williams. She's a 20-something female streamer. Nobody knows her actual age. Goes by the screen name Eliana Gray when she's streaming. And she likes to stream FPS racing and RPG games. And she is recently started getting into VR. So this opportunity really piqued her interest. And she would probably be, she's got like long, straight, flowing, like dark blonde, light brown hair. And she would probably be wearing a nice t-shirt and some jeans with the sponsor logo on it on this shirt.
Ooh, a sponsored logo? You're sponsored? Quick, what kind of company?
Oh, probably like G Fuel or something like that.
Oh, jeez. You did that intentionally. All right.
It's the first thing I thought of. I'm sorry.
So you walk up to the building, glass doors, and Jordy's right there, and he opens up the door and he goes, "Oh my goodness, in the flesh is it Eliana Gray?"
Well, hello there. You must be Jordy?
Yes, I'm Jordy, and oh my goodness, wow! I've been watching your stream, and he kind of blushes a little bit for a couple of years, and when we saw your application, I got really excited. We had to get you to try Harness Reality.
Oh, well, thank you. I always love meeting viewers in person. It's so nice to see that to see people that like watching me stream. So it's very nice to meet you.
He kind of regards you, looks up and down, and goes, "G Fuel. Does that stuff really work?"
Yeah. I mean, I have it if I need to pick me up in the middle of the day. You know, I have my coffee in the morning. And
Yeah. And you look at him, you can kind of tell this guy, he's super energetic, but he looks like he's been up for a minute. You wouldn't happen to have any samples on you, would you?
Oh, no, I didn't think to bring any with me. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. I'm okay. And he kind of shakes his head and looks away and turns over to Charles and introduces you to Charles, like he did the others. And now you notice as you walk over to the reception counter, Charles kind of looks up and he does a double take at you. And he looks over to Jordy. Her? Jordy goes,
kind of
"Yeah.
give him a little wave.
Yeah,
smile.
her. Yeah, her." And Charles goes, "Oh, okay." Grabs the clipboard and oh, your real name's Josie? Looking at your character there, Tanantha.
Yeah, let's just keep that between us, though.
Oh yeah, of course. And he hands the clipboard over to Jordy, who happily takes it and nods and escorts you on the way down to the testing room. Which brings us to our last character introduction. We have today playing Bast Lockhees, Mr. Descender. How you doing?
It's always the best going last, you know?
It's the dice. I don't know. The dice already hates you, clearly.
I'm just sitting there sweating.
Someone has to be last. In any case, Descender, if you would so kindly introduce us to the world of Bast, I'd be greatly appreciative.
All right. So Bast, he's got slightly long but neat brown hair, deep brown, like green eyes that appear mischievous. So he's got a delicate face, almost like androgynous in nature. He's dressed in all black, a well-worn blazer and tight-fitting suit pants. He's around 6 foot with a slim figure. So he's got like a taut look to him, but it shows that he stays in shape, or he just plays too many VR games. So
these days, no one can tell.
Yeah, exactly. Or the Ring Fit from Switch. It's one of those.
All right, and so as you approach the doors, sure enough, middle-aged, grizzled-looking, very tired figure opens the door and looks at you, regards you up and down, and he goes, "Hi, I'm I'm Jordy. It's nice to see you. You must be... And he's searching his memory again, and he's having a hard time with the name.
Bast.
Bast. Ah! Yes. Lockhees.
That'd be it.
Oh, fantastic. Come on in. And not as enthused. He kind of knows of you, but much like in the way of Evan, he kind of wasn't as excited to see you. He introduces you to Charles, and Charles grabs the last clipboard on the desk, and once again, sort of like, 6 people, are you sure? And hands over the clipboard.
And Bast is just looking around. He's like, so this is the home of Harness Reality, huh? And I've done a lot of research, and I can't find anything.
Oh, yes. Jordy looks over. Oh, yes. Now, naturally, before you came out here, you signed all the applicable legal paperwork. So, of course, just a reminder that anything and everything that you see today is highly confidential and binding by the NDA that you signed. So, naturally, anything that you see today is definitely very hush, secret. But you're very privileged to be here today.
Like, so why all the secrecy? And then at that moment, he like flips his hair back and he tries to lean on the reception's desk, and he kind of slips and like falls a little bit, and then he like collects himself again, like it didn't happen.
It's not unheard of for there to be so much secrecy. I mean, you remember when Minecraft 2 came out, right? No one knew anything about that game. It was in development for decades, and it finally came out. And like they announced, no one knew anything about it. They announced it like a month before it came out. It was wild. Remember that?
Yeah, didn't they have like triangles?
Yeah. They added triangles.
Yeah, that was mind blowing.
It was revolutionary. Triangles.
It really was.
Yeah, absolutely revolutionary. But hey, you get the idea. We don't want our competitors knowing how the technology works, and we don't want to, say, hey, this product's coming soon, so on and so forth, and then it not be ready. So it's one of those things.
Like a insight check on him just to see.
Yeah, go ahead, make an insight check.
All right, this is not a good roll for me, but never mind. I'm fine.
All right, with a 16 on your insight check, you can tell that he is absolutely 100% pretty serious looking. One, everything is confidential. 2, he doesn't look like he's holding anything back. He's being very open with you. You surmise that, that's probably exactly what it is. You don't know, but like clearly, it's new tech. Like, they don't want patents being stolen or word getting out or disappointed customers, gamers in particular. They could be pretty harsh, on developers.
So what's Harness Reality mean?
Well, I'll tell you what.
Name?
You're the last one to show up, and I got a whole group of people ready to test this stuff. We'll take your question with the whole group. So that way because they're going to ask me the same thing.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
All right. So he takes you down to the test room. So now we're in the testing room. Now, in the testing room, it doesn't seem like anything really too outlandish or out of what was expected. You see that there are different stations, each with chairs, and there is what would be you would consider a fairly typical VR headset sort of hanging up off of a cable from the ceiling. There are a few extra things around. One of the things that you'll probably notice right away is that there are different monitoring devices in every cubicle. And these look like health hookups, like they could check your vitals while you're using the VR equipment. There is another room that's sort of sealed off. It looks like sort of where an observation center, because there is medical information that they need to take and things like that in order to make sure you're okay while you're trying out the equipment. It's so you see like sort of like a glass window. It's like a case in the back. It's got all sorts of computers and things back there, and there to greet you is Jordy coming in now with the last person. You'll notice there are 2 other individuals that you have not quite met. One is a lady. She has very bright curly red hair going down to about her shoulders. She's dressed in a sort of a black halter, tight pants, and around her belt is a holster with a gun and a badge. And she has a badge that says security on it. And then the other person that you notice is dressed in scrubs. He is a very handsome individual. Dark hair, tan complexion. He's got that 5 o'clock shadow, but it looks good. And kind of sits there and regards you all, looking at everybody like, yeah, okay. And Jordy begins making his introductions. Jordy says, hello, everybody, and welcome. We're so excited to get you on into harness reality today. And he looks around the room, and I see many of you have already met each other. Like, I would assume that you guys kind of had like casual chit-chat, but not real introductions, okay? But he's not really interested in your camaraderie. He goes on and he says, well, we're really, really anxious to get you guys started today. So we're going to go through a bit of a brief. Naturally, before you guys showed up today, you had signed already all of the legal paperwork, and he goes over it. But I want to do a quick refresher as to some of the things that you signed. And if any of this discourages you from participating today, you are free to leave. There's no commitments and no hard feelings. And it goes over some of the information, kind of goes through a bit of a safety brief. But he takes the time to break down a few things that you might be interested in. One, your vitals will be checked throughout the test. He continues, and he's talking now, and he motions over to the gentleman in scrubs. He says, this is Raphael Swoon. And he will be monitoring your vitals today. He will be administrating any medications that you might be needing today. He's going to be the one make sure that everything's okay. Now, there's no reason to be alarmed or afraid that anything that you experience in this VR test today would be life-threatening or anything like that. No. We're checking your vitals to see if our technology successfully reduces these different kinds of virtual sicknesses, okay? Now, virtual sicknesses can be all sorts of things, and we're going to go ahead and have Raphael read through the list of symptoms that could be associated with use of any kind of VR technology. So Raphael kind of walks up, and he addresses all of you, and he goes, hey, so the list of known symptoms for virtual sickness include nausea, vomiting, general discomfort, headache, stomach awareness, personality dissociation, pallor, sweating, fatigue, drowsiness, disorientation, and apathy. And he has a tray in his hands, and he says, I need each and every single one of you to go ahead and take one of these. This is a Dramamine pill. And he holds out the tray, waiting for each of you to take a one of the little cups with the Dramamine pill inside of it.
Bass just kind of raises his hand. I was like, Dr. Spoon, did you say apathy?
Yes, apathy. Mm-hmm. You want to make a history check on that?
I mean, I know what apathy is, but my character might not. So sure, yeah.
Yeah, roll a history check regarding virtual sickness. All right, with a 13, you would know that it's actually just a quick Google search away. You would find that list of symptoms, because that's where I pulled it. And apathy
Really?
is actually one of the symptoms of virtual sickness. Yeah.
Is it really?
It really
Oh my
is. Yep,
God.
I actually looked it up. So, yep, nope, it's one of the things.
What?
Oh, apathy is one of the things.
I'm just wondering what
This
they
is
mean
why
by
my
stomach
relationship,
awareness.
That was also from that page.
I know. I'm just like, when are you not aware of your
It's
stomach?
like tongue awareness, being aware that you have a tongue.
Yeah.
Yeah, tongue awareness, stomach awareness. Yeah, it's a
Remember
thing.
to breathe.
I searched it.
Remember to breathe, people. No,
All
you're
right.
very
So
aware
he's
of your
he's
breathing.
handing out the Raphael Swoon here. Hey, he's handing out
You need one
the.
of those. I'll just, if there's a waiting room, or I can just stand in the corner and.
You all the negotiations for you testing today was done in advance.
Oh.
Yeah, I thought that was part of the backstory. My apologies. It's assumed that you already knew you were participating.
Oh, okay.
All right, my
Sorry.
Yeah, no.
Otherwise, you would have had a
teleport
clipboard
back
and you wouldn't be back there.
up. Jimmy,
Oh,
fetch me my pill.
All right, sir. And I'll grab 2 and I'll hand one to him. Oh, this could definitely be interesting, and I'll swallow it.
Okay. Oh, there's also bottles of water by each of your
Oh.
seats, so you do have water there. My apologies, I forgot to mention that detail.
Do I notice anything weird about the pills, or just like a blank pill?
It
No
looks like
writing?
a standard pill to you.
I
If
take
only someone had a medical background.
I'm just gonna pop mine back dry. Not
Okay.
even gonna think about it.
Yeah, Josie grabs hers and takes the water.
I grab the water before I put the pill in my mouth, and I go, "This isn't the water I requested to have. Do you have any of my water on you, Jimmy?"
I'm sorry, sir. We didn't bring any today. I didn't realize we'd be consuming.
Useless fool.
Oh. It wasn't on the list of things that were going to be required for the test.
So different for me.
All right, so I take it that everybody took a pill.
But I
Yes.
didn't take medicine.
I don't
check
want
this
to,
week.
but I will.
Yeah, go ahead and roll medicine
I don't
check.
wanna
So
copy
for
it.
those who are watching, I did ask each of the players to have a skill in Novosi. I forgot to ask you because you came in late. A skill that they would have a +2 to. So basically, for all of these rolls that you're seeing, they're not using their character sheets. These are custom rolls, and we're adding a proficiency bonus of +1 to all ability checks. But except for one skill that I said you could be proficient in according to your background. Oh, that's right. Carl, we gave you insight. We decided that ahead of time. So insight is your +2.
That makes sense.
That makes sense for your background.
Yeah.
So with your roll of 20, you determine that it is in fact a Dramamine pill.
Okay, then I take it.
Okay. You're very knowledgeable about this sort of thing. You know, motion sickness is a pretty normal thing. Dramamine typically used in things like sailing and any type of sea travel. It's handed out like candy around any sort of place where you'd expect people to get motion sick, and it's very familiar. You know exactly what it is.
Yeah, I see everybody else take it, and I'll take it because I want to be cool too. So.
All right, so everybody has taken the pill, correct?
Yep.
Yes.
All right, very good. We won't have to
And
make
we
any
died.
Constitution saving throws later. All right, so you all take your Dramamine, and after everybody takes it and kind of gets seated again, Jordy continues. Now, naturally, of course, anything and everything that you see today is protected under your non-disclosure agreement. He motions over to the woman Lola, and he motions over to the woman with the red curly hair, and he goes, she is going to be in charge today of making sure that no one interferes or interrupts our test sessions today. We are in New York City. It's a very busy place. It's not often that we open our doors, so we do have an extra security professional at hand today to oversee this event. Please don't be alarmed. This is just standard procedure these days, and we just want to make sure that you guys are safe and that naturally no problems or altercations occur, and we'll be good to go. Okay, guys? Considering there
That
are no
sounds pretty
complaints.
good to
Sounds good.
All
go.
right. Well,
Did we get her name at all? Or
he said Lola. Lola's her name.
Just Lola? Okay.
Yeah, Miss Lola. That's her name. And Lola Hemsworth. You can see it right across her badge there. And everything seems to be on the up and up. And finally, Jordy goes, all right, guys. So, well, It's been about, a few minutes since you guys took your pill, so we should be ready to begin testing. Today's test, we'll be playing sort of a D&D inspired adventure. Nothing too surprising. It's a role-playing game. You'll each will be assigned a persona based on your personality traits that you responded to in our survey as part of our paperwork. So you'll be introduced to your characters once you get in. And one of the big things is I didn't really want to quite tell you beforehand because, when you get into, and you'll see what I'm talking about, harness reality, when you get into the game, you're going to really feel like you're there. Now, you should at all times have this perception of being able to take off your headset and twiddle your fingers and your thumbs, but the sensory projection that's going on through the headset itself is very state-of-the-art. You should feel like you're there. You should be able to smell things. You should feel like you're actually gripping your sword or your staves or whatever tools or implements of destruction that you have. It gets really excited. And they tell you it's a very basic adventure. You guys can have a lot of fun. This isn't a game we're releasing or anything like that, so it's kind of funny, and I think you'll have a great time. Are there any questions at all about today's test? What you're looking for or what you're really testing today? We're really just trying to get you acquainted with the system, and then we'll do more focus-based testing over the course of the week.
Josie raises her hand.
Yes, Miss Eliana.
Yes. Will we be having scheduled breaks, or are we expected to sit in the chair for 8 hours?
Oh, no. So today's testing will be split into two 2-hour sessions. Okay, with a break in between where you guys will get a chance to get something to eat. Food will be provided as stipulated in your agreement. So you don't have to worry about buying any food during the day, and all of these expenses are already taken care of. You'll be well taken care of.
Uh-oh, Carl. You better have something good for him.
I expect my meal request to be honored since you didn't honor my water request.
Who are you talking to? Jordy had water.
No.
Time to fire the
Not my water request.
I had a very lengthy conversation with your attorney, Mr. Magnuson. And he assured me that you were aware that no special accommodations will be made, regardless of the status. After all, you're not even the most famous person here.
Oh.
I take offense
Okay.
to that, sir.
Good.
And I'll just whisper to the person next to me, it's totally me.
All right. Are there any other questions regarding today's test session?
Nope. Let's get started.
All right, none heard. So Jordy motions over to Raphael. Go ahead and help me, assist me in getting everybody strapped in. And so the process is pretty simple. They ask you to sit down in a chair. It's like a recliner. You're actually in a reclined position. A lot of times you think about modern day VR. Usually you're in some kind of station or pod where you're actually physically running and things like that. This harness reality virtual system is actually in a seated reclined position. You find that the chair that you're using for testing is incredibly comfortable. No expense was spared in this chair. The headset is just that. It is a headset, but one thing you might notice as it goes on is that it's more like a full kind of helmet, and the back part of it, and they didn't explain much how it works because they just want you to try it out today. It is still very much under NDA, so not really getting into technical specifics. Today is sort of like a demo day for you. But you can kind of tell that there's something happening in sort of the top of your neck, under the base of the skull. Nothing's like penetrating your skin or anything like that, no. But you actually notice that there seems to be slight vibrations and sound elements and other things that are meant to stimulate sort of what's going on in your brain. But it's all external. Nothing's internal. And part of the helmet is earmuffs that go over your ears, and they're like the best noise-canceling headphones you've ever heard. Like, they're sitting there explaining to you, okay, everybody, so when you put your headset on like this, nothing, and you take it off, and now you can hear us again. See how that works? See how good that is? And they do it a couple times, and the voice fades in and out. You know, yeah, they're really good. They're very proud of it. And they put it all in. And they tell everybody to sit back, relax. And the system will activate once everybody's ready to go. So you're all kind of taking about like a 5-minute nap while everybody's getting strapped in and ready to go. And once it's all set up, suddenly you hear, ba-da-ding-ding. It sounds like it comes from behind you, and instinctively you turn around as though you were standing, and you find yourself in harness reality. Each of you have assumed your avatar. Selma is now the Oracle. Evan is now Grimly. Josie is now Farida. James is now Red Zanya. Bast is now Judge Fred. And Carl, you are now Hamsley. Now, you all still maintain your personas. You are still Selma, Evan, Josie, James, Bast, and Carl. But as far as you're concerned, you look down. You are in the body of the avatar. You are controlling. Would each of you, in that order, we'll start with Selma. Go ahead and briefly describe your virtual avatars. You are presented with a character sheet. You see what kind of spells and abilities that you have. It's like it's all really second nature and intuitive, very quick and easy to pick up. It's like part of you.
Selma is now the Oracle, which strangely resembles somebody from the Matrix.
Strangely.
And it's just odd. She is a water genasi druid. And she's just like a gentle looking lady. Unassuming.
All right. Evan, can you please describe your avatar?
You've got the classic mountain dwarf, Grimly, which may or may not be Lord of the Rings adjacent. And, the long beard, braided, big thick helmet, kind of looking a little scruffy, a little battle worn. He's a full fighter with battle maneuvers and everything.
All right. And Josie, would you please introduce us to your avatar?
So Josie is now Farida, which seems an awful lot like Merida from Brave. She's a wood elf ranger, and she has a longbow, and she also has the Swarm Keeper magic.
All right. Next up is James. Tell us about your avatar. Jimmy.
James now inhabits the body of a 6'3", well-toned, muscled female warrior with long red hair. There seems to be some kind of mistake here. I'm in a different gender, apparently.
You hear a voice sort of emanate from above you, and it's the voice of Jordy. He goes, "Oh no, that's okay. That's okay. Our system, we did the analysis twice since you've gone in. This character persona seems to match you perfectly."
Okay. We'll see how it goes.
Meanwhile, while James is exploring himself, Bast, please describe your avatar. Descender?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
So Judge Fred is an Azamar. He's a paladin. Azamar basically you're an angelic type race. Their eyes have like almost a glow to them. And as he looks down, he's completely ripped. He's huge, 6 foot. He's got a tattoo on his forearm that says "the law" on it, which is kind of interesting. And as he's looking down at it, he just, some reason in his mind, like he just says, "Justice has a price. The price is freedom." And he has no idea why that came up.
All right. Carl, please describe your avatar.
Carl is now Chef Hamsley. I am a stout halfling sorcerer. Chef Hamsley is very reminiscent to a certain TV chef, and you'll find out more as time goes on about which TV chef it is if you haven't figured it out already. I am a fairly damage-oriented sorcerer. I don't really have any supporting kind of spells with me, so we shall see how that goes. And Carl looks at himself and goes, "Why am I a chef? Jimmy's the one who cooks all my food."
Once you all get oriented and for about a good 5 minutes figuring things out, understanding who you are and what you're doing there and everything, a loud voice emanates around you. Feels like it's almost behind you in your subconscious. And the voice says, "Hello, everybody. So this is a D&D inspired adventure. This is Jordy, your dungeon master speaking, and I'm really excited to have you all here. Today, we're going to be doing a little bit of questing as you get adjusted and used to harness reality. So what's going to happen is, why don't we just get started? This tale is, I don't know, what do we call it? So let's just call this a whimsical tale of quality assurance." One of you may say roll credits. Roll credits.
We have a title.
This dude's super cheesy, right? It's like, all right, well, I'll go ahead and take you to your first destination. And then suddenly, like, you kind of make out like this tavern in the distance, but then you sort of get vacuumed into it. Like you were just dragged there, like your avatar was just clicked and thrown there. You didn't, you're still standing, but it was very fast, very Matrixy style.
So luckily, no Constitution checks.
No Constitution. No, you're totally fine. and the group, if you walk into a tavern, and around you in that tavern, you notice there's 6 large tables. All are occupied, save for one right in the middle where no one happens to be sitting. Very convenient. In the back, there's a bar, sort of like an old portly, sort of disheveled-looking Scottish guy back there pouring drinks, and he's working. And there's a gentleman whose back is leaning against the bar, and he looks over to you, and he summons you in. Hi.
I immediately trip.
Hi.
Do you guys smell that stale bread?
Oh.
That's really weird.
No, but I smell alcohol, which is quite interesting.
Yeah, I smell some stale beer.
Yeah, the air smells of booze, brews, and a mixture of harsh chemicals and a hint of stale vomit.
Carl, I don't think this is the most sanitary place.
Smells like home.
You're correct, Jimmy. Go wipe down a chair before I sit down.
Of course, sir.
Another thing that might catch your attention in this sort of weird virtual reality is how good the lighting effects are. You can clearly see rays of the afternoon sun sort of shining through the wooden slitted windows of the tavern. The only other source of external light's coming through the door. It's sort of like bifold doors, not really doors that close, but, kind of swing back and forth.
See, they got the God rays, right? Looks pretty good.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that since like Minecraft 2.
Josie's just kind of looking around.
So the gentleman who was leaning his back against the bar stands up and he motions over with a summoning gesture towards the table in the middle of the room.
Let's go sit down, guys. Let's grab a drink.
Jimmy, which chair is mine?
I haven't had a chance to wipe it off yet, sir. I'll go over really quickly, like take a chair and just wipe it off my. I guess I'm like whatever my cloak is.
Jimmy, why
There you
aren't
go,
you
sir.
wiping my chair? I'm sorry, I love this.
Like, Jimmy, can you wipe my chair too?
Sure, if you want me to. I'll just start going around and cleaning all the chairs off with my end of my cloak.
So the gentleman who motioned over for you to sit down, he kind of leans in and he says, "Hey, I'm going to get a round of drinks. On me, of course, as per our agreement. I'll be back. 5 minutes, give or take."
Yes, our agreement.
So the 6 individuals who are now seated at the table, you got about a good 5-10 minutes to get to know one another here in this cool new virtual reality space.
So does anyone know what this agreement is?
No.
No.
I'm pretty sure we were
Someone
thrown
make
into the middle
a
of
perception check.
into the middle of a quest or something.
I will.
Feel free to
Can I
make
assist?
perception checks. Yeah, here we go. Perception.
Can I
Coming in.
assist on the perception check?
Yeah, you got all you. Go ahead and roll perception.
yeah,
You're trying to figure out what sort of agreement that you have entered in with this guy at the tavern. All right, so
Yeah,
Mr.
good.
Fred, the Oracle, Red Zanya, the 3 of you happen to notice that you have sort of like a weird UI display that kind of appears when you think about what am I doing. Like it's like summoned with your mind, and there's sort of a UI thing that has an exclamation point, and it has a red asterisk next to it. So having noticed that, and Chef Hamsley, you notice it too, you click on it, and it opens up a journal, and it says a meeting at a bar, and there's some background information about this NPC. His name is Denare, and that he left a note for you at the front desk of the inn you were staying at, and that he asked for you, and along with a couple other adventurers, to help him with an urgent request.
Denari.
So apparently we were all requested to be here by this man.
I mean, did he like is it on your schedule?
I don't know, Jimmy. Is it on my schedule?
No.
Oh, come on, Jimmy.
Well, how would I know how to schedule this, sir? I didn't even know what was happening. I mean, besides we were joining this test.
Denari comes back with some drinks. He hands them all out, and he says, "I'll be right back." So now you all have beers in your hands. If you'd like to drink, you can.
I think
I'll take a sip.
The Oracle will hand her glass to whoever's closest to her.
I'll take that.
I go, service! Service!
Barkeep speaks up from the back of the bar. "You want service? You get your ass over here and order something proper. Who the heck do you think this is? Service." Very typical NPC barkeep dialogue. It feels very odd and strange. Like, I feel like I need to explain this because I would never have a barkeep talk to my players that way normally. But in this particular situation, the barkeep seems to be acting with disdain, very typical of this era of RPG, like old school RPG where no one wants to give anybody service or like earn money. It's really weird.
I'd be like, I'll give you a tip if we can get some service. We've had a long day. Do I have money?
Yeah, let's rummage through our gear. Like, what do we got
have
on?
money to do this?
All right, so since you asked the question, all of you do see something very similar into the game that you see on your character sheet, almost exactly the same, as though it's an actual D&D inspired RPG. You see that you have different ability modifiers, you see your different stats, your skills, so pretty much whatever you see on your character sheet, you have access to through a status window inside Harness Reality.
So I don't
Hey
have
guys,
money.
I'm pretty short on coin. Are we going to be able to cover these drinks, or was the first round on them?
Well,
Denari
The
said the
first
first
round
round was
was
on
on
him.
Dinar said the first round was on him.
And then
But I
I
have
said
no idea
something
what
about a
game this
tip.
is like. Jimmy, do you have any idea? I can't say I've played anything like this similar. in my lifetime.
No, this is nothing I've played before. Well, I don't really play games. Yeah, that's more of your job. I handle your day to day. I do have 5 gold here. It says, whatever that is, and would it like appear in my hand?
So the way the harness reality works is pretty similar. Like, you obviously can feel around your equipment, like things like you are wielding that are actually marked as wielded are easily in reach of you, sort of like rote memory action to like the sword that's at your hilt, for example, because in your case, your back, Red Zanya, and you could feel your clothes are definitely on. You might through your extra exploring note undergarments as well. I mean, you have access to a lot of those things, but you notice that though you have a very full bag, encumbrance doesn't really seem to be a thing in this reality. Like nothing really has any real weight to it. So
Right.
it feels very gamey, but not too realistic, but realistic enough to like put you in time and place. Yeah.
Well, I'm just gonna reach into my, I guess into the reality and just kind of pull the 5 coins out of the pouch and place it on the table and be like, I've got 5 coins, whatever this is worth.
Let's go.
The barkeep sort of looks over. And you see him sort of look over to a lady, very stereotypical to the era. We're talking like, I forget the name of it, but like a German, I hate to use this term, but I'm going to use it, wench. And she's got, sort of like the low cut top and the suspenders and a long skirt. And he looks over to her and just goes, kind of notions over to you. Next thing you know, a pretty lass leans over the table,
Is this the
looking
tool
right
we're
into
talking
your
about?
eyes, Jimmy. Hi.
Oh,
Hi.
How can I help you?
I guess we'd like some food. Everybody want some food, I guess,
Jimmy.
to go with the drinks.
Sure.
Around
Yes.
whatever's hot for the 6 of us.
She puts her elbow down on the table and puts her face into her hand, and she kind of looks at you and she goes, "Well, I understand that you think this is kind of like a restaurant, but it's a tap house and brewery. We really don't have
Oh.
food here, but we have any of the liquor or beer that you would desire. However,"
Um,
she kind of looks around a little bit. She goes, "Denari's going to be back here in a minute. His matter is urgent. The drink's fine, but he might not want to get drunk. I know something about it."
Jimmy, she's totally into you.
I turn to her and ask, what information do you know about this?
Oh, Denari, he's troubled. See, I think for a long time his brother was, well, his brother's been enamored with this hag in the woods. I don't know. But he went away a couple days ago and he hasn't been back to town since. I would imagine Denari's looking for him. She kind of straightens up. She goes, "So if you have a drink order, I'd be happy to fill it, but..."
Yeah, hey, I'm already done the first one. Could I take another?
She makes note of that. Anybody else?
I'm all set here.
I have my first drink and I just spit it out. It's like, I won't drink this swill.
Do you perhaps have any water?
Upon hearing you ask for water, you hear the gruff barkeep in the back going, "Ha! If you want water, go out with the horses and drink there."
Okay.
It was rather rude.
Like I would not normally have my NPCs act this way, but I went with pure stereotype freaking RPG nonsense. Okay, I'm sorry.
No, I'm just
That was fine.
Jimmy's reacting.
Jimmy, can I say you're looking beautiful tonight?
That's no, thank you.
Okay.
I would prefer if you didn't ogle me in that way, sir.
Sorry, I just can't help it. You have something about you. I'm not sure what it is.
I think it's your strong stature. It's beautiful, you know?
Well,
You notice a couple guys around the tavern just absolutely checking Jimmy out right now.
I'm just gonna kind of like grab the cloak and like start trying to pull it around me tighter, try to cover up like the exposed skin.
Yeah, I haven't been able to take my eyes off Jimmy since we got here. That's all I've been looking at.
I lean over to Jimmy and go, we could probably sell you and make some more gold. We might want to consider this.
I throw my 10 gold on the table.
What? No, sir, this is not my contract. We have a highly written contract out. We agreed to this when I started.
I don't believe virtual reality sex was in your contract.
Well, I believe any type of sexual harassment was in my contract, sir.
Just a brief reminder to our players, we do try to stay away from sexually explicit content, so let's not get into the harassment category, please. I know we aren't quite there yet, but it's borderline. All right, let me go ahead and bring this table back to order. Jordy speaks up. Denare returns in his like weird, creepy DM voice, and sure enough, Denari scurries back in from the back and he goes, "Hey, thank you for meeting me here today. It's good to see all." Denari! With feeling! You hear Jordy speak over. He's getting really upset. And Denari goes, oh, sorry, boss. Hi, everybody. Yes, I'm so glad you're here. Oh my goodness. Where do I begin? He kind of looks confused, and finally he settles down. He goes, I have a quest, if you should choose to take it. My brother has gone missing. He went into the woods just north of town, and he's been enamored by this old hag out in the woods. And he left out of town a couple days ago and hasn't been back since. No one has seen him since, and he's my brother. It's really urgent that we find him. Looks at you, pleading eyes.
Are we talking witch hag video game? Are we talking like real life New York?
I do not know of this New York that you speak, but she's an old woman who lives out in the woods, though I haven't ever seen her. We've heard of her. She's never really caused trouble before, but I really need to find. She might not have anything to do with it. He hasn't come back for a few days.
Of course.
That's terrible.
I'm in. What's our reward?
Oh, I promise that I will reward your entire crew with 300 gold pieces for your efforts.
That sounds reasonable.
That's more than I've got.
Of course we'll help you.
Can we make it like 305 for Jimmy? He's yeah.
Denara kind of looks around and 305?
Yeah, Jimmy gets 55, and the rest of us gets 50.
I'm sorry, are you?
No, my assistant does not get more.
But have you seen your assistant?
So everybody accepts the condition 300 gold pieces?
Yeah.
Fine
300
by
is
me.
fine.
Okay. And he nods and says, that's very good, very good. My brother's name is Shim. Before he left, he had this strange riddle. He was trying to help me figure it out, but I really wasn't quite sure. But the riddle is, and he's sitting there and he's thinking, he's trying to bring it back to memory. And then finally he goes, oh, yes. Be a bump on a log, sing a song, any song, with feeling and fervor, and the forest shall reveal its secrets to you.
Could you repeat that?
Yeah, one more time.
Oh, sure. It's, be a bump on a log, sing a song, any song, with feeling and fervor, and the forest shall reveal its secrets to you.
Interesting. That is a very interesting saying? Song?
Sing a song, any song, with feeling and fervor, and the forest shall reveal its secrets to you. Yeah, that's how it goes. That's the riddle. I don't know what it means. I haven't been out to the wood. My brother has. He was on to something, but...
Are the woods dangerous? Is that why you've never been out there?
Not normally, no. In the past we used to have a brigand problem, but a couple of adventurers came through the other day, and they just went through and killed anything and everything that moved. It's what they do, I guess. So ever since, we really haven't much trouble in the forest.
Except the egg.
Can anybody sing? I mean, Carl definitely doesn't have a singing voice.
Never ask me to do that.
Is anybody a bard?
I recently got into the music industry, mostly writing commercial jingles right now, but commercial jingles can be sung with feeling and fervor.
Can it be a Christmas commercial jingle?
You know what? Let me think of one right now. We'll come up with something.
You could always sing the hot dog song.
I'd love to hear the hot dog song.
Yeah, I would like to hear the hot dog song as well.
Oh, you don't want me to sing. Your ears will end up bleeding.
So Denari kind of looks at you all and he goes, well, it sounds like you're already on the case, and I thank you so much for your help. And the last time I asked somebody like you for help, they sat there and they just yelled and shouted at me until I promised to give them my life's fortunes. But it's good that you're a good lot.
Did you give them money?
He kind of regards you lightly and goes, who?
Did you give them your life fortune?
Oh, no. They settled for a trinket and a little extra gold, thankfully. But it was just, I didn't. All that yelling, I didn't like it.
Gave it to them up front. Can we get half?
I'm sorry. Are you? Oh,
can we get half up front?
Go ahead and roll persuasion to haggle Denari up.
I mean, he gave an artifact already. Good thing I have +5 and a natural 20.
Oh my gosh! Well then, look. I don't want any trouble, and I don't. You were at least kind in the way that you asked, and I get it. All adventurers, you need to make some coin. You were sending out into harm's way. My brother's life is worth the world to me. I love my brother, so I'll tell you what. We'll go ahead and up the reward to 360, but not a gold piece more. Right, on top of that,
up front.
I do have something that might be of use to you. And he pulls out of his coat a bright red studded ladle. And he puts it down on the table. And says, I was going to give you these anyways, but you might need them now. And he passes you 6 scrolls of Identify. Now, Identify in this game world does not work exactly the same as it does in D&D Beyond. Each of you are able to read the spell and actually use the spell in order to use the scroll. So it's kind of gamified in a way for convenience. So think like Diablo Identify scrolls. That's how these work. So these are scrolls of Identify that he hands you.
Do we all look at Chef Ramsley?
I was about to go, I guess this ladle would be for me.
Yeah, do we all?
I'm a chef.
Well, you pick it up, and it's definitely a red studded ladle.
I recommend one of us use those scrolls that he's handing us to identify this.
I'm getting like 90 Shades of Grey vibes from this.
Do you want me to? I guess use a scroll on the ladle, sir.
Yes, Jimmy. Use your
All
scroll
right.
for that.
I will I'll take one of the scrolls off the table and try to figure out how it works to identify the red ladle.
All right. You use identify on the red label. You hear a voice that sounds much like a pawnbroker. Oh. Of course! This ruby ladle of kitchen nightmares originated from the deepest bowels of Hell's Kitchen itself. It was originally wielded by one Gordon Ramsay, who used it to viciously mock his chefs into submission. Not all of them survived. This wand has 4 charges and performs the spell Vicious Mockery. However, its effects are amplified and it can be used as a bludgeoning weapon. When Vicious Mockery is used from the ladle, does 3d4 spell damage. As a melee weapon, does 1d8 bludgeoning damage. This has been another use of the Identify spell.
It's pretty impressive.
I'm assuming Jimmy's the only one who could hear that, or did we all hear that?
No, everybody heard it.
Okay,
Weird.
just making sure. I wasn't sure if it was.
Yeah,
just
you're all in
inside
the
Jimmy's
same
head.
party, you kind of got UI flashing. It's like, hey, Jimmy used Identify spell, and then you hear the audio play.
Okay. I guess this is my magical weapon. Guess it's made for me.
Yeah, wow.
Yep.
And it
Wow,
seems
You're just only a little
rather,
fitting.
All
rather
right.
specific.
I take it you know how to add that item to your equipment list, but essentially it's like a wand of Vicious Mockery, but it will use 3d4 spell damage and 1d8 bludgeoning if you decide to hit somebody with it. I didn't quite have time to pre-make the items, so hopefully you get it or can add it. If not, you could just roll it. Just write down the stats somewhere in your notes, and you can roll it manually.
Yeah, that's what we'll do.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that Josie was gonna look around the room, but then you gave us the item, so.
I,
Can
It looks
can you say it
really
real
well
quick, or
made
just
for
type it in
spanking.
Discord real quick so I can type it in notes?
yeah, I'll just copy and paste the entire text that you got real quick and put it here in players chat for you. Done. So Denari looks at you. Is this satisfactory? Will you look for my brother?
Of course. I guess we just need to know which way to the woods.
Oh, of course. If you guys are finished with your drink and ready to go, I'll take you to the forest now.
Yeah.
no money up front.
I would hope the ladle up front was enough.
I mean, it just helped one person. I mean, I don't have a ladle in my hand.
Sorry.
That's not
I mean, we can send him off and he can go rescue himself, Just give me a gold.
So you guys ready to go?
Yeah.
All right, let's
Yeah, I'm
go.
ready.
He's completely and totally ignoring any further persuasion attempts to increase the gold reward at all, and just goes on about his NPC merry way, and leads you outside of the tavern and towards the wood line, just north of the village. And he stops and looks at everybody and he goes, "This is as far as I'm willing to go. I'm not a hardened adventurer like the like of you. Ever since I took an arrow to the knee. But
No.
I'm certain that you guys will find my brother."
I'm just looking around at everybody like, did they get that? And
Is this another re?
I feel alone.
Skyrim?
Is this another what?
Re-release of Skyrim? Are we
VR
testing Skyrim again?
2034.
Skyrim Harness Reality Edition.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Oh man.
I thought they released it for like the 10th time. I thought that was done.
They had it farming instead of just the fishing.
Now, Jordy, you can hear him again. All right, everybody. Well, now that you're here, oh my goodness, I'm so excited. You guys get to go to the first part of your adventure. How's everybody doing? Everybody doing okay? You see something appear on your UI, very subtly, saying that traveling, kind of like it's loading.
All right. I guess. Sorry.
No side effects yet.
Yeah, I seem to be fine. Do we know?
Haven't felt anything weird happen to me yet. Just that nasty beer.
To anybody else who drank the beer, it was pretty good beer. You know, it wasn't like, it wasn't cheap beer. It was actually pretty decent beer. It tasted pretty good.
Was it regular beer?
It would taste like regular beer, exactly like
Okay.
regular beer, Samantha. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. All right, and so everybody gave him his answers. Well, all right. Well, the next part of your adventure begins now. I hope you guys are ready. He's really gleeful. And you guys arrive in a forest, and you find a camp. The fire is still lit.